Welcome back, everyone, to the Coaching Space podcast with me, Justin Bodel, a place where I look at the people side of performance. My guest today is South African men's hockey player Wade Paton, who to date has earned himself 125 outdoor caps for his country, 12 indoor caps. He represented South Africa at the 2012 Olympic Games. He's been to 2 World Cups, 2 Commonwealth Games, 1 Indoor World Cup, and 5 Africa Cups. He's also earned himself 5 gold medals at the men's interprovincial tournaments in the outdoor version and 3 in the indoor version of the game, and played 3 seasons for a club in Belgium. So he's had an incredible career, but has turned his attention to coaching more recently and has had incredible success with the Varsity College men's hockey team from the DBN North campus. They won not only the outdoor league and the indoor league this year, but they also went to the USSA competitions where they competed against some of the best university hockey teams in the country and earned themselves a silver medal. Wade has done some incredible things in a short space of time with this group of players, and he attributes a lot of it to team culture, and that's what we talk about today. So his 3 questions today are around team culture. He gets personal, he shares great insights, and I really hope that you enjoy the episode. Good morning, Wade. Thanks so much for joining me on the podcast. It's great to have you with us.
I was just awesome, man. Great to be here. I've been really looking forward to this. Let's get cracking.
Awesome, man. All right, cool. So 3 questions. The first question, you have obviously moved into a coaching role. You've done some incredible things with your Varsity College men's team. Something that really stuck out for me was this idea of team culture. It seemed to be quite central to sort of what it was that you were trying to build with this team. Tell me a little bit more about how that came about. Why was that a focus for you, and what impact has it had on your team?
So, I mean, just a quick intro is how I got into the coaching space. I actually played a hockey match against the guys in 2019, and they didn't have a coach. Wow. And I kind of walked off the field going, like, those are the youth of our province. Like, some of those are the best players in our province at a junior level, and they don't have a coach. Wow. So I made a couple of inquiries, and short story, a month later, I was their coach. And it's something I didn't foresee. I had no intention of coaching anything. Like, I'm quite busy in my normal 8 to 5 job working in the family business. So it just landed on my lap, and it's kind of, I think, there's a special reason why I was put there. Yeah. And the culture side of things, essentially, these guys had already built friendships and relationships on and off the hockey field. Yeah. And I was the new element to their group. Like, I was the outsider, I was the stranger. Wow. And I had to try and get these guys to trust me, and kind of, without kicking out whatever they developed, try and just put a little bit of what I have and the way I believe things should run in a team. Obviously that's essentially your culture behind your team, is trying to form it, trying to get everybody on the same picture, same ideas. And I mean, to be honest, my guys, we aren't the best hockey team in the province by any stretch of the imagination, nor are we the best university team in the country. Hey, we don't have the resources that some of these bigger varsities, your Marties, your Tucks, your UCT, we don't have any of that. Hey, so a lot of my culture focus was around that, is that we don't have a lot of like the physical elements that these other universities, the guys can get into the gym 3 times a week as a team. They can be on the turf 3 times a week. Like, I can't compete with that. I've got 2 sessions in the week and then a match on the weekend. So I had to focus on getting the guys to buy into something that they all believed in. And I had to get everybody, because as soon as one element or one rung of the ladder was missing, then it's not complete. So just a massive culture focus for me, because that's the way that I believe that I would get the best out of the group, in the short space of time that I just literally walked into their setup and, hi, I'm Wade, I'm your coach now. Like, you might know me. I'm a bit of an old guy from a hockey perspective. Probably some of you have never heard of me, but I know a little bit about hockey. Let me share, and let me try and make you guys love being a part of the team, because it's the quickest way to get the buy-in, in my opinion.
Yes. And could you feel, I mean, that was a clear intent that you came in with. Do you feel that it had an impact, that it had the desired impact that you wanted, and sort of building the team and ultimately achieving some of the success that you've had now?
Yes, 100% just. I mean, I can remember the first team talk that I had with these guys in the change rooms at Riverside, and it actually was pouring with rain. And when I arrived at training, I was like super nervous, because I know like a lot of these young guys, they're cool, they're hip, they on the teens. Like, I'm an old belly, like a dad, like don't know if I'm going to fit in. And it was pouring with rain, and I was like, this is actually perfect. I said, let's go straight to the change room. And I sat down in the change room, little splab introduction, and I said to the guys, hey, do any of you have girlfriends? And they like looked at me, and like these are young oaks, they like don't want to admit they have a girlfriend. One opened his hand, and then it slowly kind of followed, and I was like, interesting. And the one guy, Cam Ryan, just said to me, hey, what, Pates, why did you want to know if the guys have girlfriends? Like, it's one of the first step as a young man, in terms of me being able to read where you are mentally, because often you guys could be having something's happened to your girlfriend, she won't let you go there, you want to go there, and you come to my training and you know where, like mentally you know where, you float through the session. And so I needed to start ticking off these elements in each guy's character to understand what kind of drives them, what affects them most. And the girlfriend one was just a pure icebreaker for me as well.
Great question.
And I think from that moment, I had an initial like this. This guy actually cares about what happens when we're not at training. And that's what I wanted the guys to know, that hey, like we're all here, we're all in it together, we share our problems. If your girlfriend's broken up with you, hey, don't not come to training for the week, come to training, because we are here, the team is here for you, and we need you, and you essentially need us as your kind of support system. So
it's awesome, man.
It was strange. It was strange the way it all unfolded, in terms of that. And the culture definitely led to a very, I mean, I would say, I don't want to say like a family orientated culture is a cliche. But that's kind of where I was going. I just wanted the guys to just care about each other.
That's awesome, eh? And Wade, I mean, question number 2, you know, talking a little bit about culture. Like, for me, culture's an output. It's like there's certain things that you can work on, and what you sort of get as a result is the culture. So you obviously had an idea of this brotherhood, this bond, this kind of culture that I want for this team. But what were some of those those mechanisms or those things that you worked on, like to kind of create that culture?
Well, I mean, it's easy. It's not easy to create it. Like, the output is definitely the hardest part about it. We can sit in the chat and talk about girlfriends and how we all feeling, but if there's nothing actually happening outside of your training hours, then you aren't going to be able to build that culture. So I started to introduce the guys to like pre-game coffees, and like, I mean, as simple as it was, we try and meet at Colombo as a group, and like it started with like 3 or 4 regulars, and then slowly it just started to like snowball. I mean, the whole team would arrive to have a coffee before a game, and it was just, obviously with young men, it was just like full banter, and their minds were completely off. They were talking about what they did yesterday and the night before and where they're going, and that was one of the things. So it was like building that team, that environment of getting together, running on a promenade together, just doing activities outside of hockey, so that when we got to training, the guys were like all in sync. They kind of knew where everyone was.
Love that.
And then we obviously had some I wouldn't say mottos, like mantras, that we kind of stuck to. The one is a super hidden one, so I won't reveal it. It's That's just cool. Us and the boys. It's our one, and it's kind of just how we behave, essentially, and it's like a couple of words. And then I have like we live by a few things, like not being late for training. If you're going to message me, you can't come to training, you message the entire group, because it's easy. I find it's easier to make an excuse to one person because you're only accountable to them. Whereas if it's an excuse for not coming, it's a lot harder to write that essentially to your team. And you don't want to make the guy feel uncomfortable, but there is an accountability.
And a transparency, I suppose.
To 100% transparency. If we have training on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and you've organized to go for movie nights on a Wednesday, you've known we have Tuesday and Wednesday training. That's just the way it is. And listen, I do understand if it's your mom's 50th or your grand's 80th, like if I'm the first person to say go and have dinner with your family, there'll be 100,000 other training sessions. But that accountability of message me, but then straight away I was like, message the group. The boys need to know, because in a couple of teams I've coached when I was a bit younger, it was just too easy for guys to not arrive and not be accountable to the group. And it is one of the most important things for me was everybody knowing where everyone was, and not from like a creepy stalker point of view, but just openly. So there were never surprises is kind of what I try to get out of the guys.
Love that.
And then we had a motto, which was more on the field and at training. It was just about being relentless. I read a book called Relentless about an NBA trainer. He's a physical trainer, and just how he taps into guys mentally and how their bodies can heal through like your mental strength. And it's just a crazy one. And the book title was Relentless, and it just stuck with me. After putting the book down, and I said to the guys, like, that's kind of how I want to be at training. We want to be relentless on the field. We want to be relentless. We just don't stop for anything. We might not be the technically best team in the league. We're striving to, because if you aren't striving, then we always trying to get better technically. But
100%.
If you're having a bad day technically, there's no excuse to run the hardest you've ever run in your whole life. Because and that's kind of where I went with the relentless. Just be relentless. Just keep going. And
100%.
the guys enjoyed the word. It just stuck.
Lovely.
It was another little small experiment that just managed to stick really well with the group.
It's so awesome, And so it sounds like it's a combination of, like you say, a couple of sort of things that really describe like the ethos of the team, but also sort of setting some of those standards, and making sure, like you said, a couple of those key things in place about not being late, communicating. Relentless, I suppose, really talks to that idea of effort. You can, like you say, even if you're having a bad day technically, or you're just feeling a bit off, or your girlfriend's broken up with you or something, like you can still give your best and give 100%. And to your point earlier, it's almost that like your team could almost just outwork another team, probably, ultimately, if you had that kind of grit and that kind of culture.
I mean, one of the things we at the recent USSA tournament where we got a silver, which is still it's still the most mind-blowing achievement for a small varsity in DBN North. It is really ridiculous. But we kind of got to the final, and I didn't really know what to say to the Oaks. Like, they had literally spent, I mean, they were physically spent. They had nothing left. I mean, it was just somehow in a final, your body just rejuvenates. And and you just feel better. But when the whistle goes and you start doing the hard yards, your body quickly tells your brain that it's been a long 6 days. So I was just like trying to tell the guys, hey, just keep going. Like if we get clapped in this final, I want the opposition to know that what it's like playing our group of guys. Like, might get 10-0, we might get 5-0, but those Oaks are going to have to work the hardest they've ever worked if they want to score those 5 goals. And we lost to Tuks 5-0. Tuks have, I think, 7 or 8 of the national under-21 team going to the World Cup at the end of the year. And I was so proud of my Oaks. They just made it so difficult for them. And the Tuks goals that they ended up scoring were like world class. And I'm like,
that's fine.
As a sportsman, I mean, what can I do? What can we do more? They score high quality goals. We ran them rugged, and it's just the way sports goes. Someone's going to win and someone's going to lose. And on the day we lost, but we gave effort that we'd asked of the guys, and it was unbelievable week. Jeepers.
That's amazing. I mean, Wade, you've kind of touched on it a little bit now. I mean, obviously you had a stellar career with the SA men's team, but as a previous player, you also carry a sort of a wealth of experience of what it's like, I suppose, to perform at that level and even higher. Something you said in an interview recently was this idea of being a coach, but also being a mentor. Tell me a little bit more about that kind of dual role and why that was important for you in working with this group of boys.
Jess, I'm quite a new parent. My daughter is nearly 3 and my son is 9 months. So, I mean, at the beginning when I took the job over, my daughter was quite young. She was a couple of months old, and I was away from my family a bit, and like twice a week during the evenings and on the weekend. And I just started to think about things more like, hey, like I hope one day if my daughter or my son plays sport, like the person who they spend a lot of their time with during the year really cares about them and is concerned about their well-being and is asking questions about their life and not only making them hit 300 balls a week or flick 300 balls a week or make sure their sprint repeat is under 2 minutes. Like, it's all part of being a sportsman, but the responsibility of the coach is way beyond the drills on the field. It goes, it really, and I've seen it this year. I've almost, I get some crazy messages of advice from my players, and sometimes I sit there and I'm like trying to draft an email to a big customer, and I've got somebody messaging me about what they think I should do, and I start to get like frustrated because now I'm like mixing the two, and then I sit there and go, Wade, this is what you set out. This is what is happening right here is what you set out to achieve in terms of being a mentor. Like, and I can fold my laptop because my customer can wait for my draft email, and I can pick up my phone and say, hey, listen, I'm sorry you're struggling with this, maybe this, or your marks aren't great, or maybe go speak to this advisor. And I'll quickly phone Jody Taylor, who heads up, and I'll say, Jody, who can this guy speak to at Varsity? So like, and I really, really believe the mentorship that I've tried to show these guys has come back. They've given it back to me in terms of just reliability, honesty, dedication, because I really feel that they play for me. And when I'm standing on the sideline as their coach, I'm hoping they get this this confidence that I'm not just coaching them, but like they have a coach and a mentor and a friend who's on the field, and I can't be on the field and play. Like, as much as I'd love to, I can't help you any other way by just my words and my demeanor and my body language. And I just want the Oaks to turn around from the sideline and go, flip, that's my coach. Like, I'm going to work for him. So yeah, the mentorship
Awesome.
has been yeah, it's been unreal. And I mean, I've got a hell of a lot of 21-year-old mates now, which is quite strange. We obviously can't do a lot of things together because our lives are worlds apart.
Yeah.
But I've got these young guys who, yeah, they've also given me so much
Yeah.
energy. Like I mean, you go through the end of your hockey career, and you essentially, I haven't retired yet, but I just haven't got there. I don't think I have the time to retire yet. When I find a couple of months, I'll do a retirement blog or whatever. But yeah, you kind of end your career on this high, and you just feel empty, and then you're like, life just carries on. You know, time doesn't stop for anyone, and get married, have kids, and then you have this new exuberance that comes around from being a parent and a husband.
Yeah.
And then it, like, life just carries on again, and I just needed what they had, and I don't think they realize what they've given me.
Yeah.
I'll
That's
tell them
amazing.
one day in a
Yeah.
room where it'd be emotional to just them. But
Yeah.
the mentorship is, yeah, I cannot, I want to say recommend, maybe recommend it more to coaches out there. Just take a little bit more time to just, yeah, find out what gets your players going, and where they are mentally, and at home,
Yeah.
and a lot of them don't want to share. I promise you.
Yeah.
And I'm all right with that. And they might not share their deeper personal
Yeah.
battles, and I might not be that person for them. But hey, if they share something else with me, like if it's the smallest thing, I take it as a small victory into getting closer.
100%.
Yeah.
I think, I think it's such a cool note to end it on. I think because it just it just speaks to a lot of, I think, what good coaching is nowadays. And firstly, it's about getting to know your players. Know what makes them tick, know what motivates them, know how you need to talk to one guy versus another guy, and what that person's going through. But more so, it kind of really talks about this idea of seeing them as people first, isn't it? It's like, yeah, that you're there to play hockey, like but you've also got your stuff, and you've also got your experience and things that you're going through, and they've got things that they're going through. And I just love that it's that sense of relationship and that sense of seeing each other actually as people first and foremost, and becoming good people is kind of so much part of the journey. You want to leave this environment, leave this team, knowing that you guys have grown as people and not just as players. I would assume is sort of what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be the coach at Varsity College forever. I'm pretty sure life will throw me something, a curveball here or there, and it might take me down a different path. But if I can instill a couple of solid values and morals amongst like 18 to 24 young men, then yeah, I mean, essentially that is what my job is
Job
first.
done.
Like you said, human before hockey player. We arrive at training, we humans, and the only time we really become the hockey player is when we pick up a stick and we cross the line to hit a ball. Like, but before that, we just people. So yeah,
Awesome, man.
That's the way I've gone about it, and I'm a true believer in it. And I don't want to say it's a recipe, because it might not be a recipe, but there's a certain amount of a recipe, especially at that university boy level, a boy and girl level, that it's like, they've got certain battles that they're battling against themselves. And yeah, it's just, I really think they need more mentorship. From a
Than just
coaching
coaching.
perspective.
100%. I think you're so right, Wade. And it's such like formative years. And it's, the guys are incredibly lucky, I think, to have a coach who not only has your experience, but actually cares for them the way that you do. So thank you so much, man. Listen, thank you so much for sharing. It's been really awesome to get a bit of insight. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for, just sharing so openly about what your experience has been and what's worked for you guys. And I think there's some really, really great lessons there for anyone who's listening. So thanks, man. I really appreciate having you on.
Thanks, Jess. Thanks for having me. Yeah, always a pleasure sharing. A huge passion of mine, and it's what a time to be alive, eh? Really loving it.
Absolutely. Awesome, Wade. Listen, thanks so much, bud. We'll chat soon.
Cool. Thanks, Jess. Bye.
Cheers, bye.